Hello, and welcome to another State of Affairs, my monthly update series. A couple things to get out of the way right before we start this one. If it seems like I'm rushing and trying to go quick in this video, it's because I am. I'm on a bit of a time crunch. And another thing, I'm not dressed up in my normal, like, really nice getup. I completely forgot to grab that stuff out of my suitcase before coming in here to get stuff ready for recording. So, I'm still too lazy to do that, and I'm, like I said, on a time crunch. I'm not going to waste the few minutes to actually do that. Third, if my voice sounds scratchy, again, it's because it is. I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. So, all of that is fine and dandy. I'm just quickly recording and editing this on Friday morning before I have to, leave and go out of town so that this can come out tomorrow like it was otherwise planned to. But without further ado and other nonsense that you guys are definitely not here for, let's talk about last month's videos with a little bit of their performance going on. Last month I did post 14 videos on the main channel. They got 681 views between them, not too shabby. There's several highlights that I actually want to point out from these 14 videos. I'm going to mention 6 of them here. The 2 top performers, the 2 highest performing videos, both of them, well, one of them rather surprising, one of them not quite as much. I'm not going to show thumbnails because I didn't spend the time to get that configured into my stream deck over here. But my January reading wrap-up and TBR video got like 170 views or something like that. And then my 2024 bookshelf tour update got about 150 views. So the bookshelf tour, I'm not that surprised, ended up taking off. Still got more than I was expecting, still overperformed. But the reading wrap-up, I definitely did not expect to get that much of a reception. Then I also did a couple top 10 videos this month. First off was classics, top 10 classics I want to read. A video that really underperformed compared to what I was expecting. Like, it did pretty normal performance for my average video on the channel, but the fact that it was a top 10 and a couple other factors, I was really surprised to see that. I don't think that video on its own has more than 1,000 impressions still, and every video that I post at this point gets 1,000 to 2,000 impressions. So it was really weird for that to be the one video that didn't. But it still got a decent enough turnout, higher click-through impression rate, whatever that mumbo jumbo is called. And then I also did top 10 sci-fi stories I want to read after Sun Eater, and that video actually did a little bit better than even I was expecting, with it being a top 10 list. At least it overperformed compared to the classics one, so that was fun. And then a couple of my other favorite videos that I did do this month were my No Country for Old Men review, which got a good click-through rate. People clicked on the video, but they didn't watch it for very long. I'm not 100% sure why. That one surprised me a little bit, but I was happy with that video, especially after trashing the road. I was happy to praise McCarthy in that one. And then I did a Where I'm At with Wheel of Time just a couple days ago on Thursday, wrapping up my experience with the first 4 books in Wheel of Time and giving out the plans for reading Wheel of Time this year, and what I plan to do there. So if you've been following me along with the Wheel of Time journey that I've been on in 2023, then I recommend you check out that video before Wheel of Time Diary start posting for book 5 in a little bit less than a week. On the second channel, I posted 6 videos, got 72 views between them. The highlights that I want to shout out were twofold. I had my 2023 album/EP/single of the year video. That video did a little bit. It didn't pop off the way that I was expecting to, even for it being the second channel, probably because we're so far out from the end of the year that a video like that isn't super relevant anymore. And then I also did an album review, rather an EP review, for Before I Turns, The Devil Exists, an EP that came out in early February that I wrote a 5,600 word blog for. So that was rather excessive and kind of affected my turnaround on getting a 2023 Game of the Year video out, but we'll talk a little bit more about some of that stuff later. As for last month's writing, it turns out I wrote nearly an average of 4,000 words a week in February, but that was between a lot of different projects. As for The Reign of Ash, I only actually got about 1.5 thousand words added to Halfway Hollow, the third outline in the Silent Rain trilogy. The first 2 parts are almost done. I've done all of part 1. I've done several scenes in part 2, but part 2 is also the longest one, so there's a little bit left in that one to go. But I'm also looking forward at parts 4 and 5, which will essentially need to be rewritten, redone entirely, and 3, which will need a lot of edits, and the fact that the timeline is absolutely kicking my butt because of all the different storylines and how I have to get them intermixed, and then also looking forward to the next couple series in the Reign of Ash sequence, which will need a lot of, time frame going back and forth with Halfway Hollow specifically, so that's going to be very not fun to be doing. Either way, I've been slacking on my character and location tracking in that as well, so fun stuff. I'm going to try to work on that this weekend while I'm out of town, because I don't think I'll be able to do as much reading while I'm out of town. I can do, writing stuff while I'm in the car. We'll see how things go on that front. But most of the words that I wrote this year were in blogs and reviews. Starting to question some things here, because in February I wrote good, lengthy, in-depth Goodreads reviews for 5 of the books that I read in February. So basically all of the full-length books I read in February. So 8,600 total words for book reviews between Murderous Fairies by Nicole Brona, The Crying of Lot 49 by Thomas Pynchon, The Crossing by Cormac McCarthy, East of Eden by John Steinbeck, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. In here I'm basically spoiling my February reading wrap-up, which doesn't come out for 3 days, but I wrote Goodreads reviews for all 5 of those that were actually, I'm pretty proud of all those reviews, even despite how many words it took up. And as I mentioned, I wrote, it wasn't even 5,600 words, it was actually over 5,800 words for that album review for The Devil Exists. So, I wrote a lot of words in blogs and book reviews. Sorry for the voice crack, like I said, I just woke up. And then I also got another nearly 1,000 words for like mini reviews between like another book that I finished in February, The Mark of Athena, and other short stories and stuff like I've been reading from Poe and Lovecraft and other stuff like that. But those main book reviews are the ones that I'm happy with. Either way, let's talk about channel statistics really quickly. On the main channel, I got 1,036 views, down 19.4% from January, but that's still a really good amount of views. January was just like my highest performing month in any metric, I'm pretty sure. So, a drop like that is to be expected. And 1,000 views for February, even for a leap year February, is really good. 84.5 watch hours, down 30%. So average view time was a little bit lower in February than January was, for a couple of reasons, but nothing too crazy to worry about on that front. But still 50,763 impressions, down 38.4%. Again, January had like 82,000 impressions, which was far and away my record. I think this 50,000 here would have been the record if January hadn't already broken that, so still a good amount of impressions. Good amount of people seeing my videos on their timeline. And then plus 6 subs got me up to 577 subscribers. I actually hit 579 at one point, but I think I lost like 5 subs in February. So if we were going by my technical gain, I did gain like 11 subs this month, but several dropped off, and I'm not sure entirely where all of those came from, but that is what happens. I'm thinking I'll probably be able to realistically hit 600 subscribers this year. I certainly hope so. That would be really, really, really cool. On the second channel, I got, oh man, there we go, 80 views total over the course of February, up 63.3% from January. I had a very slight increase on watch time, 9 hours, up 4.6%. And then a decent jump in impressions, yet again, 13,059 impressions, up 126.3%. So doing pretty well on the second channel over there. And then sub count, I didn't gain or lose anything over there. And as for the second channel, I suppose I should say, if you want to check that out, I recommend subscribing here soon. If you're interested in live streamed content, and especially if you're into the gaming content over there, because actually 2 days from now, from when this video posts on Monday, will be my 2023 Game of the Year list, which I spent a lot of time and headache working on over this past week. And next weekend, I plan to do my first stream or two, just kind of as a test. So if you want to be there to help me figure some things out on the streaming front, that is where it will be happening, is on the second channel. As for this month, I'm playing a lot of things by ear for the moment, hoping to get lots of reading done this month. My reading plans, as you'll see in Tuesday's video, is quite intense in spite of the travel this weekend, so we'll see what happens there. I plan to get a lot of gaming in over the next week, especially. Like I said, I have a stream or two planned for next weekend, so I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of gaming ahead of that to kind of get in that mindset and that mood, and also get a little bit familiar with the game that I plan on streaming, which is Helldivers 2 for the record. I also hope to finish getting a couple of Let's Plays edited and uploaded to the second channel. I was able to do a lot of that last weekend. Because I'm out of town this weekend, I can't do that this weekend, even though I would absolutely be doing that this weekend if I could. And then I'm also hoping to get through most of, if not all of, the Halfway Hollow outline in March. We'll see what happens on that front, like I said. And then I'm going to continue to write some cool reviews on the things that I read and watch and play, including if I play enough Helldivers 2 that I decide to write a review on that, and then I plan to rewatch the first Danny V. Dune movie next week, so that I can watch the second Dune movie in the theater next week. I forgot that I needed to ask my dad about that yesterday, so I'm going to ask him about that as soon as this video is done edited. So we'll get there. Anyways, I've got to go. I've got to wrap this up, get this edited and uploaded and all that fun stuff before a storm that's projected to hit town here in a few hours happens. So we got to get out of town before the storm just slaps us. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Fortnite on the Isle update. I've got a little bit more news on that front. And then, of course, the reading wrap-up and TBR on Tuesday, and the Game of the Year list on Monday if you're subscribed to the second channel. I'm excited for all of those videos, so I hope you guys are as well. I'll see you all in the next video.